Good morning and welcome to Chaotic Crochet Chatter with Stitchcraft Gifts. My name is Jenny. I am a UK-based crocheter. My words are going already. Living in North Yorkshire with my husband and my son and our cat. I am visually impaired, but that doesn't stop me. And this is my space where I let you know what I've been up to for the past couple of weeks and what my plans are for the next couple of weeks. So, on we go. Good morning. It is Wednesday. Is it the 10th or is it the 9th? This is good, isn't it? Good start. It's the 10th of April. Yes, it is Wednesday, the 10th of April. It is just gone 10:30 in the morning. How are you doing? I have been into town this morning to run a couple of errands. It was lovely and quiet because I went in early. And yeah, it's quite a nice day so far. I think it's supposed to rain in a bit, but so far so good. This could be a fairly long episode. I've got quite a lot to get through because the last one I did was just a mini episode. I didn't cover everything. I've got more finished objects and works in progress and all of that sort of thing. Well, particularly finished objects actually, to talk about than usual. As well as a couple of acquisitions that I didn't cover last time. But I'm not going to rush. If it takes a while, it takes a while. If you can't watch it all in one go, then don't. You can always watch it in bits. That's what I do sometimes with these things. What else was I going to say? I'm sure I had something else to say. I make notes and then don't look at them and then I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yes. Yes, I was going to let you know that I have started a new series, new podcast, new vlog series, I don't know what to call it really, called Daily Crafty Chats. This is instead of the monthly vlogs that I was doing, and the reason that I've changed things up is because sort of daily life vlogging, I don't really get on with it. It doesn't suit me, doesn't really appeal to me. I gave it a try. It can be quite fun, but I've not really been enjoying it overall. So what I'm doing instead is I will be uploading videos roughly once a week and they will consist of daily updates, roughly a week at a time, of what I have been working on, what I've been crafting every day. And that will hopefully keep me motivated, for one, to keep crafting, keep making. It will also let you see how long things take me and how many things I work on at once. A little bit of what my day looks like. There'll sometimes be updates about the sort of behind the scenes admin, the stuff that doesn't make it to Instagram. Well, that sort of thing. So hopefully that'll be semi-interesting. Obviously things that are mentioned on there will also be mentioned on here. This is where I will cover most of the detail. The daily chats, I'll be a lot briefer about it. I won't be talking about the pattern and the yarn and in as much detail as I would on here. Obviously there is going to be a bit of repetition. So, yeah, I hope that's okay, basically. Right, let's press on. I believe I'm doing finished projects first. I have got 6 finished projects to talk to you about. So I'm going to start with one from a few weeks ago now. I don't think I've shown you it finished. I will have shown you it as a work in progress. It is living in this rather fabulous tote bag that Kelvin bought me for Christmas. Cat version of the Scream, very famous painting. I shall drop a link below to where you can get one of these, as well as there will be links to pretty much anything else I mention in this episode, as always. And this is the Diamond Filet Mile a Minute blanket, pattern by Stitched Up by Emma, and this was a test for her, and it in shades of purple and blue with a black border. It's another really wonderful pattern. Yeah, another really wonderful pattern, very beginner friendly without being boring. If you haven't tried filet crochet before, it would be a great introduction to that for you because it is nice and simple. This is, I would say, maybe a little bit bigger than your typical baby blanket, but only just. This will be going up on my shop sometime soon, along with the puff stitch blanket that I tested previously. They will be going up as soon as I get my finger out and actually do the listing. So if you want it, you can buy it. But also, if you want to make your own, go and get the pattern from Stitched Up by Emma. And yeah, it's just lovely. I'm really enjoying testing for Emma. I will carry on doing so as long as she lets me and as long as I have time, because her patterns are great. She's lovely. The sort of regular group of testers that she has going on is lovely. I follow all of them on Instagram now, and I think most of them follow me back, which is fab. It's always just a really good experience. A quick chat about the yarn. I believe it's all Paintbox. I think it's Paintbox DK. Let me check. It is all Paintbox yarns, Simply DK. We have got the colours 137 Midnight Blue, 148 Dark Aubergine, 73 Jam, 101 Pure Black. I used a 4.5mm hook just to get the gauge that was suggested by the pattern. I can't remember which hook size the pattern suggests, but I've always got quite loose gauge, so I have a feeling I may have gone up a hook size, but I could be wrong about that. I can't remember now. But yes, buy this, buy the pattern. Paintbox yarn is lovely. The colours are fab. I think, yeah, I'm doing okay with colour today. It's maybe a little bit darker, deeper than it's showing on the screen, but it's pretty good. I think this one's the Midnight Blue. This one I think is the Dark Aubergine, and then the one in the middle is Jam, I think. So yeah, that's that. Finished project number 1. Like I said, really lovely to work on. Pop that out of the way. Number 2 is another blanket. Hang on. Just realised I said all of that and I was probably off screen, so I shall say that again. Number 2 is another blanket. I might have to stand up for this one. This is the blanket that I have been making for my grandma, who is currently in a care home because she has dementia and it has progressed to quite a severe stage now. As far as I know, she's being well looked after. So my mum visits weekly pretty much, so all updates recently have been good. And this is the blanket I made. Oh, I just froze then. Oh, and it keeps freezing. Right. I am going to stand up because otherwise this is not all going to get in a shot, even remotely. It might not, even if I stand up. Let's see. There we go. No, I still can't get it all in shot. I can't move my chair any further back. Oh, stop freezing. What's going on? But yeah, this is a patchwork blanket that I made all up myself. There was no pattern for this. My mum said that my grandma's favourite colours are sort of muted shades of blue and purple and green. This isn't as muted as I wanted it to be, but hopefully it'll be okay. Okay. Ooh, why are we freezing so much today? I literally went through my stash and pulled out all the DK acrylic that I could find that was in those colours. Basically, that wasn't too bright. I've got a few that are very, very bright greens and blues, so I didn't use those. Sit back down. There we go. Yeah, and I didn't use any patterns really. I followed a few tutorials. Which ones were tutorials? That one might have been. This one here. Oh, I forgot to say, I have got a phone call at some point between now and lunchtime from my doctor, so I may have to pause and take that. Oh, this one's a nice one. That is, I think it's called the triplets stitch, and it's like a simple version of basket weave, which is nice. I did that a couple of times actually. Here it is, small a bit in another colour. And what else did I use tutorials for? Well, here's a loop stitch square. I didn't use the tutorial for this, I just remembered. I think that's really fun. And the idea was to just provide lots of different textures. That's a little popcorn stitch one. Trying to find, I know there's a couple more that I followed tutorials for and now I can't find them. Well, that big square, which I think is called a ripple granny square. I think. Where's the honeycomb? Where's the honeycomb? There it is. This, I think, is the favourite new stitch that I've learned, although it's a bit of a pain to work. That's the honeycomb stitch. It just looks lovely. I'm thinking I might make a bag or a zipper pouch or something out of that. Bit of fluff stuck to it at some point. But yes, the idea was to get lots of different textures, so it's nice and tactile for my grandma. Some of the joins have got like a little ridge, some of them are flatter. I just made it up as I went along and then attached them all together, and then in certain places like here sort of filled in gaps with just bits of double crochet or single crochet, and then went round the whole thing with a grey border. And as with many of my big projects, I got about half to 2/3 of the way through and I started having a massive crisis of faith, thinking, oh, she's not going to like it, Mum won't like it, it's not coming together right. Persevered, because this happens all the time and I know how it goes normally, and I'm really happy with it now. I haven't blocked it because I don't think I need to, and also it'd be a pain in the bum because it's so big. And now that I've added the border to it, I don't think it needs blocking. It seems the edges all more or less line up when I fold it, which is always a good sign. It is roughly square. Oh, that's an end that is escaping. I need to sort that out. I shall do that when I'm done with this. Leave it folded that way so I find it again. And yeah, I would tell you about all the yarns, but honestly I don't know what all of them are. Some of it is Stylecraft Special DK, some of it is Deramore Studio DK, I think. Some of it's from Crochet Society. Some of it I genuinely couldn't tell you. I don't know. It's just leftover bits that were in my stash that were in the right colour palette. And I think it's all come together pretty well. So that is that. Alright, project number 3 is a quick one. If I can find it. Here we go. So this is just a little test project, really. I'll talk about it a bit more later, but I've got a project I want to make for Ned. Although I won't talk about it much more actually, but I have a project I want to make for Ned's birthday, which is later this month, which I've decided to use chenille yarn for. I have never used chenille yarn before, so I thought it was a good idea to have a little practice first. Luckily, my friend Fee bought me some lovely chenille yarn. Oh gosh, possibly a couple of Christmases ago now, a while ago. I've got it in this colour and another, I think she got me a sparkly one as well that's in a brighter, pinkier colour. Oh, I've just thrown that across the room. Oh, what is the yarn called? I can't remember. It's Jelly Baby, Signet Jelly Baby, Chunky Chenille. I think the colour's just called Plum. And this little heart I've made following a tutorial on YouTube. I don't have it written down. I thought I'd written down the details of the tutorial in the notebook that I've got it written out in, but I didn't, so I shall look it up when I'm done with this, when I'm doing the editing, and if I can find it again I shall put a link in the description. If not, I'm sorry, whoever created the tutorial for this, it's brilliant, well done. If you happen to see this video, let me know and I shall credit you. But yeah, it's cute. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It might go in my shop, but I don't know. I might just keep it. It might end up as a giveaway prize at some point. It's lovely and soft. Really lovely and soft. It's been stuffed. Normally I use fiberfill for stuffing 3D items, and recently I've started using a combination of fiberfill and all the little scraps of yarn that are left over from, well, everything basically. But for this, because it was just, I was playing, testing, I've just used the yarn scraps and it's come out really well. It's holding its shape really nicely. It's got a bit of squidge to it, but it's not, you know, it's still quite firm. And I'm really, really liking it. So I think I'm going to be using yarn scraps as stuffing without the fiberfill a lot more, which is good because that means I don't need to buy as much fiberfill and all those tiny little yarn scraps aren't going to waste. So win-win. Okay, I'm going to pop that. Can you see? Oh, you can just about see if I pop this on my shelf. There, look. There we go. And it can live there for now until I decide what I'm going to do with it. Right, next finished project. I finished the socks that I was working on. I have mentioned these before. In fact, I think I mentioned them in the mini episode last time because I took these with me on our little holiday to Scotland. Now I have got proper sock blockers to show these are fun now, but I think I need to buy some bigger ones. I thought these would be the right size and they're not quite. Again, I shall link the shop so you can see where I got them. I'm really happy with them. This, oh, let me get my little notebook out and I can tell you all the details properly. It's been a really nice pattern to work, and I think out of all the socks, in fact no, I don't think, I know, out of all the socks I've made so far, they are the most well-fitting pair that I've made, which is lovely. Where's the information? Right, the pattern is, I didn't write it down properly. I need to get better at writing things down, don't I? There's the pattern. So it's the Moss Stitch Socks pattern by, is it Lion Brand? Yeah, Lion Brand yarns. It's a free pattern you can download off their website. And I think a couple of other people have shared it in like collections and so on. Oh no, that's all my notes cards. I'll pick that up in a minute. This fabulous yarn is, of course, by Vicky Brown Designs, because that's where I get most of my sock yarn from, or have done so far. It is from the April 2023 Mini Skein Club, 4-ply, 75% merino, 25% nylon, I think, fairly standard sock yarn, and these lovely, lovely variegated colours. I've got a bruise on my arm. This time I actually remembered before I started working to divide the skeins in half, because I get the gradient version of the Mini Skein Club. You get 5 mini skeins and they are a gradient of colour, obviously. So I remembered to divide the skeins in half and make 2 balls of yarn so that the socks would almost match. They're not identical, but that's okay. I don't need them to be, but they are very similar, very, very similar. And yeah, they fit really, really nicely. I really like the toe on these socks. I don't know whether there's a specific name for how the toe is constructed, but it's, I think all the other patterns that I've used, you start with a flat circle, increase it to the size you need, and then work up. This starts with a kind of a wedge shape instead, so it's sort of square, rectangular, and you increase the rectangle and then work up. And the heel was made using, you work the foot and then you do short rows, which gradually decrease in size, and then you work back along them. Oh, it's really hard to describe. And you kind of increase the stitch count again, but join it back to the short rows you've made so it turns into the heel. That's a terrible description. But again, it's worked really nicely, fits really well. I did have to make a couple of slight adjustments because the foot was fitting really well, and then when I did the heel, it was just a little bit too tight to get it on over my heel and around my ankle, or up to my ankle. So I can't remember, what did I write down, what I did? What did I do? I did write it down, but it's in pencil, so now I can't, now I can't read it, of course. No, I can't read what I did. If I remember when I'm editing, I will put a little note about how I adjusted it. I also did the cuff differently. The pattern suggests doing the ribbing as front post, back post, double crochet stitches. I've done, that's my phone, I'll be back. Right, I'm back. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, the cuff. The ribbing on the cuff. Yes, the pattern says to do the front post, back post, double crochet stitches. I don't really like how that looks, and I don't really like how it behaves either, so my chosen cuff option for most things, or ribbing option, whether it's socks or cuffs on a jumper or a hat, whatever it may be, is to do back post single crochets instead to the desired length, and then work around the sock. I'm sure if you are a crocheter you know what I mean. To anyone else that was probably a whole load of gibberish. Yeah, I always decrease my hook size for the ribbing. Yeah, happy. Really, really love my socks. I should say as well, actually, that they're looking a little bit fuzzy on the bottom. I don't know if you can tell. Just starting to get a little bit fuzzy on the bottom because I have been wearing them quite a lot since I finished them. What I love though about, I assume, most sock yarns, but especially Vicky's, well, my experiences with Vicky's, is that that's about as fuzzy as it gets. I've got, even the first pair of socks that I made, which was back in September, October time last year, I wear them loads, and they're maybe a little bit fuzzier than that, but they're not starting to go thin or anything, so it holds up really, really well. Right, there we go. Okay, the next finished project I don't have with me because it's in the wash, but I will put some pictures up this side probably. Yeah, there's more space that side. Last year, I think it was last year, I made myself a crochet jumper using the Whispering Pines pattern. Can't remember the designer name, but again, it'll all be down below. And I'm rubbish at finishing projects properly. I got a bit fed up by the end, so the cuff wasn't properly finished off. The collar. And then it was the first time I'd really worked with wool as opposed to acrylic or cotton or anything. And the first time I washed it, the body stretched out a bit, but not too much, it was okay. The sleeves really stretched. They ended up about 8 inches too long. And I like a long sleeve, but that was too much even for me. And also, when I'd made the cuffs, I hadn't really made them as tight as I'd wanted. So they were just big and baggy and floppy. And I was still wearing the jumper, still really loved it, but it wasn't quite how I wanted it to be. So last week, I thought, right, enough's enough. It's really, really simple to undo the cuffs, rip back the sleeves to the right length and put new cuffs on. So I've done that, and they're nice and tight now. They fit nice and snugly just over my hands. They're nice, still long enough that I can pull them to kind of here, which I like to do, but because they've got a nice tight cuff, I can push them back as well to keep my wrists clear if I need to. And I also added some ribbing around the collar. That's still not perfect, but it is significantly better. I may redo it at some point. I've still got a bit of the yarn left. It is in Drops Big Merino, I believe, in maroon and Forget Me Not. The cuffs are Forget Me Not. The collar and most of the jumper is in the maroon colour. Really lovely yarn to work with. It's a very heavy jumper, but that's nice when it's cold. It's definitely a cosy one. It's getting a bit warm now. I probably won't wear it again until autumn and winter later this year, so I'm going to wash it and put it away for now. But yes, I have altered it. I'm really happy with it. So that was another quick little project that I wanted to get done and have done. And then my final finished project is another fairly quick one, and one that was on my plans from last time, I think. Oh, this bag, fabulous bag, is by This Lizzie Sews. Again, I will link, of course. I have, as I said I would, made the first of hopefully many zipper pouches. So this is a bit of a cheat. Because I have used a pre-made zipper pouch for the lining. So all I had to do was make the crochet and then sew it to the outside. But That's because I'm not a sewer. At some point I will get my sewing machine out, which has been untouched for years, other than moving it from house to house. Because I've got loads of lovely fabric that would be great for linings and things like this. So I will get it out and practice again and start making my own linings and things. But for now, pre-existing zipper pouches and then crochet over the top. This is the Dragon Scales pattern by Sixel Designs. One that I tested a while ago. I did block this and then it's gone a bit weird when I started joining it again. But that's okay for this one because I know the point of making these was to go in my shop, and I will be making more for my shop and to take to markets. This one's for me. That's partly because I love the pattern and I love the colours, but also because I tried something a bit different with the edges where all the ends are, because it's a mosaic crochet pattern and I've worked it in 2 flat pieces. There were lots of little ends of yarn, and so I tried a different way of finishing that off, and it's a mess. It's a mess. It's not neat enough to sell to anyone. It looks kind of cool, but definitely a bit scrappy. And then yeah, the bottom's gone a bit wobbly and weird. I'm not sure why. So this is mine. I may make one in the same colours at some point. I've got more of the dark blue. Haven't really got any more of this metallic yarn in that colour. I've got it in other colours, but I can get more. Right, let's tell you the details. I've told you the pattern already. The yarn is Stylecraft Special DK in French Navy and Hobby Metallico in Silver Sapphire. And I did not write the hook down, but it might be in here still. Is it in here still? It is. I used 4mm hook. Is there anything else I need to tell you about it? It used a total of 69 grams yarn, roughly the same amount of each. Yeah, 35 grams of the navy, 34 of the sapphire, if that's something you want to know. And I think that's all the relevant information, and that is my finished project done. So let's move on to works in progress. The first one I will show you is my spinning for the 100 Days Project hashtag on Instagram. It might not look a lot different to last time. Okay. Hoping that's focused for you. I'm still spinning the Shetland wool in this lovely, lovely colour. And it's still going really well, basically. My consistency with the thickness of yarn that I'm ending up with is still a bit thick and thin, but it's getting a lot better, and if I really get into the groove, if I have a good session, it gets pretty good. But I don't always get a long session, so and I'm finding where I need to join on a new bit of the fluff, that always ends up a little bit lumpy, so I maybe need to work on doing that. I don't quite know how to improve that, but I'll keep trying different ways of doing it and see what happens. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. We're now officially halfway through. I think it was day 50 yesterday, the day before, of the 100 Days Project. Because I've missed a few days, what with going away and the anniversary party and a couple of other things, I am tacking the missed days on to the end of the official 100 days. So the official 100 days will finish middle of June, I think. Might be the 1st. Might be the 1st of June, or near the beginning of June. Anyway, mine will go on a bit longer. but that's because I want to actually do 100 days of spinning. And okay, they won't be completely consecutive, but that's okay. That's now on the floor. I am dropping everything today. This is not going well, is it? But yes, that's my progress so far with the spinning. I'm still loving it. And yeah, I'll keep going. Other works in progress. Give you a quick update on my blanket stitch shawl. Blanket stitch wrap, as I'm now calling it. Be careful how I get this out because I don't want the yarn to disappear. Where is it? There it is. I'm getting close to the end of this this cake of yarn, which I've balled up because it was tangling. I really like that colour though. And I'm not going to get the whole thing out because, well, knowing what I'm like today, I'll drop it. Also because it is huge now. Where's the other marker gone? Oh, there. But you can see the colour has changed quite a lot. It's getting darker again, which is lovely. And that little plant pot marker is where I was the last time I showed you it, and I've done quite a few rows since then. I am trying to get into the habit of doing a little bit every morning because I do want to get this finished so I can use it. So I didn't do any this morning, but the last couple of days I have been doing a bit before Ned goes to school. I always have well, usually anyway, I end up with 20 minutes, half an hour between him being ready and me having finished making his lunch and all that sort of thing, and between then and him needing to leave. And on a normal day when he leaves for school with Kelvin, that's when my day starts in terms of getting things done. So that sort of 20 minutes to half an hour is just relaxed time, and I thought doing a bit of crochet is the perfect way to spend it rather than sitting on my phone, which is what I've been doing before. So yeah, and it means I'm making a bit more progress, which is fab. I'm going to move that stitch marker up before I forget so that it is ready for the next time I show it to you. Hopefully, if I carry on, if I make that a good habit, then I'll have quite a lot of progress to show you next time. See how much I can get done in a couple of weeks. Right, that's that. This is, there's no pattern, I'm just using the blanket stitch, which you'll be able to find tutorials for all over YouTube, I'm sure. And it is using Scapier's Whirl yarn, which is lovely. What have I done with the ball? I won't be able to find it next time now. There it is. And a 3mm hook, possibly. That might be one. Hang on. .5mm hook. And so far, it has taken me 98 hours. It's going to be huge and wonderful. When I finish that cake of yarn, I will check the size. That might be it finished. I do have another cake of yarn that I can move on to if I feel like it's not quite big enough. I like it to be, I like wraps to be, and shawls and all that kind of thing, scarves, to be huge. I like to be able to wrap them right around myself. So we'll see. It might be nearly done. It might not. Where can I put this? Put that down there. Other projects. Yes. Another one that was on my plans last time and I finally made some more progress on is Dotty. This is my other bag from this Lizzie Sews. Oh, and can I get that to show? That I've got a subscription with Sugar and Sloth now, who do cute little like motivational stationery, which is lovely. It's just nice to receive once a month. Gives me a little bit of a boost, which is nice. So yes, this is the amigurumi that I'm making for my friend Kath, whose dog died last year. She had a beagle, and it just so happens that around about the same time I had found a pattern to make a beagle puppy, and I asked her just after Christmas if she would like me to make her one, and she said yes, so I am doing. The pattern is by Theodore and Rose. It is Barkley the Beagle, who also comes with a little snail, but I'm not making him. And I'm using Stylecraft Naturals Bamboo and Cotton in Nutmeg, which is 7147. And ooh, that's all coming undone. Ecru, which is 7128. I think that really I ought to be using something slightly darker than the Nutmeg, but I wasn't sure, and I thought I'd just go with the yarn that the pattern suggested. So I'm making quite good progress. I'm trying to get all the sort of small pieces done first, because those are the fiddly bits that put me off. So I have done the head, although there's a bit more detail to add, obviously. I have done, where's the other one? The ears. I have done the, oh, that's getting tangled, back legs. And I've done a cute little tail. So I still need to do 2 front legs. And then I think, oh, there's a little bow tie collar for it to wear. Her to wear. Because this is definitely going to be Dotty Dog. And then I might do like the face detail, just to get that done. And then I'll just make the body and put it all together. So I'm hoping it won't be too much longer before I finish this, because I want to get it to Kath. I really do. The stuffing in that isn't brilliant, but it'll do. Might try and do a little bit more shaping with the face. Pull the I'm going to try embroidering the eyes, by the way. There's Cassandra from Craftably Ever After did a video a little while back showing how she embroiders the eyes on her amigurumi, and she's brilliant at it. So I might do a test run, make myself a little ball of something, maybe in the same yarn even, just to practice on, and then see if I can embroider the eyes on. If not, I'll use felt, because I didn't want to do safety eyes. It wouldn't look right. She needs big, sad eyes, and I don't know, I'm just trying to move away from the safety eyes a bit. Mostly because if I do make things like this, either it's a gift for someone and I want it to have a bit of personality, or it's for a baby and you can't use the safety eyes with a baby. So, but yes, that's Dotty. She's coming along well. Put that away. Make sure all the ends are tucked in. Go. She needs to go back downstairs. Quick slurp of my drink, and I will show you my final work in progress, active work in progress at the moment. Oh, I've made that too lemony again today. Oh well. Right, final one is one that you've seen before. Again, this is a progress update on my Sacred Space blanket, which is using the Sacred Space crochet along. Just finished part 6. Again, I shall link it down below. And part 6 is turning it from a circle, which it was, into a square. So I've been doing the corners. And these have been really annoying. I'm glad to have finished this part. Yeah, just all of this kind of section here, sort of fan bits. They look pretty now that they're done. But, oh, they were just... I was so bored. Because there's a bunch of repeats of that same pattern, which I didn't particularly enjoy on the first row. And then I had to do another few rows. But hey, it's done now. And last night and yesterday afternoon, I just picked this up on a whim, really. I didn't feel like working on anything else, and I thought I'd spend a bit of time on this, and I'm really glad I did, because the last few rows of part 6 were lovely. I finished it off really nicely, and now I need to resist the urge to carry on with this and actually do the other things that I need to do, like Dotty. But it's there, you know, and I like that I've got to the end of a section. It's the end of part 6, and so when I do pick it up again, I'll be starting a new section, which is, it feels like a good place to take a break, if that makes sense. This is using Escape as well, again, in called Dark Grape Squish or something like that, and then Whirlet in Plum for this section, and probably for the rest of it now, depending on how much yarn it ends up using. I've gone through almost 2 cakes of the whirl already, which, you know, up to this edge here, which is nearly 2,000 metres of yarn, fingering weight yarn. And I'm already, having just done the corners, I'm already about half the way through one of the Whirlet cakes. I have 2. So we shall see whether I need any more by the end. Depends how big the remaining parts are and how many there are left. I think there's another 3 parts. It might be 2, it might be 4, I'm not sure. I think it's 3. But yes, I love it. And this will be a nice, lightweight, well, it's quite heavy actually because it's cotton, but thin cotton blanket for spring, summer, early autumn, because I like to have a blanket. I just like to have something on my legs. But obviously in summer you don't want wool because it gets too warm and acrylic gets really sweaty. So hopefully this will do the job. Chances are it won't be finished for this summer anyway, but but hey, I am making progress on it. There's no rush. It's just a nice thing to work on when I feel like it. I think that's all my works in progress. I'm going to have to check my notes now because I'm starting to feel like I'm forgetting things. But I think that's all of them. Yes, it is. So, next cast on. Now I can't show you anything for these because they're both gifts. And they are both gifts for people who might see this video. So, it's Ned's birthday at the end of April. So I'm going to make him something. I will be showing you the yarn for both of these in a minute when we get to the acquisitions section. But yes, I've got something to make for Ned, which if I even hint about and he sees this, he'll know exactly what it is. So I'm keeping that as a surprise. It is also my brother's birthday tomorrow. Now, I just really wanted to make him something this year. And so I'm going to. It's a big project, it's going to take a while. So, Josh, if you see this, I'll tell you tomorrow anyway, but if you see this, I'm sorry your birthday present's taking so long. I promise you it'll be worth it. I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish, possibly quite a while. But I will get it to you as soon as I can. And yeah, you'll love it. I'm confident you will love it. So yeah, that's the next 2 cast-ons. I will probably also do some smaller projects, like some more zipper pouches, maybe a new pair of socks. But yes, those are my 2 active plans for casting on next. Oh, on my radar. This has come about through watching, what's her name? Franny Do Makes, Fran, who is based in Leeds, which is not too far from me, which is lovely. I discovered her podcast, I don't know, a few months ago. Was it before Christmas? I think it was before Christmas. I think I watched some of her Vlogmas. That might have been how I discovered her, in fact. Although actually I say it's through watching her, and that's what I think where I first saw this pattern. I'm pretty sure that Ali from Little Drops of Wonderful has made it as well, and probably everybody else. It's one of those patterns that is suddenly everywhere. And I definitely want to make one of these. This is the Moonlit Shawl by Sandra Paul of Cherry Heart, and it just looks lovely. All the examples I've seen have looked beautiful. It works really well with variegated yarn, of which I have a lot, and I think it lends itself particularly well to fingering weight yarn, but she has done 2 size options, one that works for fingering weight and one that works for DK weight, which I think is really clever and just a fantastic idea, because it means that, you know, some people don't like the really fine yarn, but they can still make this shawl. It is a crescent shaped shawl, which I think is lovely. I have heard that it works up pretty quickly, which is nice. It's got like a lacy edge. I think I should be putting pictures up here so you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. What else can I say about it? I think that's everything really, but it just looks really nice, and my plan is to make 2 or 3 of these eventually and take them along to markets, also put them on my shop of course, and add them to my commissions listings as well. I just think it's a really lovely pattern to have in my arsenal. I think it'll appeal to a lot of people. It's going to look good in any colour. And yeah, it works well with variegated, which is fab. I might try it in a self-striping. I'm not sure how it would look in that, but we'll see how it works up the first time. It'd also look really good in a plain colour, and you could even do either one plain colour for the whole thing, a solid colour, I mean, or you could do one solid for the main body and then a different one for the edge. I think that would look really pretty. So yes, definitely on my radar, definitely going in my list of things to make soon. And it would be nice as well in like a 4-ply cotton as a sort of summer shawl here in the UK, even when it gets really, really hot. No, if we get a massive heat wave and it gets really muggy and humid, then yes, it's too hot to wear anything, at least for me. But most of the rest of the time, even when it's really warm, in the evenings it'll be a little bit cooler. And so a lot of people, myself included, just want a little something to sling around your shoulders if you sit outside. Yeah, I think that would be perfect. Cotton version of that would be perfect. So watch this space. I will be making one at some point. Acquisitions. I've got how many bits to show you? 1, 2, I've got a few bits. Right, I'll start actually with the non-yarny stuff. So last time I showed you the purchases I made at Ginger Twist Studios in Edinburgh, which are hanging on the door over there. So that was the yarn I brought home from Edinburgh. I won't go through that again. I did bring home a couple of other non-yarny bits too. So while we were at the zoo, I hope these will show up well, I bought these lovely earrings. There were lots of beautiful options But I thought I'd get the koalas because we saw them and they were awake and they looked at us. So I got myself a pair of koala earrings, which I might put in a minute. And then at the castle, I bought myself some more earrings. I always like to buy myself something to commemorate a trip, but I'm trying to buy things I will use rather than just tap. And earrings are always a good option. So I bought these ones in the castle. I hope they're showing up. Yes, they are focusing. Lovely thistle earrings. And partly just I like the look of them, but also I do have some Scottish heritage. My granny on my dad's side was from Scotland, near Edinburgh in fact. So, sorry, little bits on the back of the card. What was I saying? Yes, my granny was from Scotland, and Leith, I think, possibly near Edinburgh anyway. So it's just nice to have little things that kind of call back to that part of my ancestry. Oh, did I show you the headband that I brought as well? What have I done with it? I bought this in the castle gift shop as well. Look at the sparkle. Bought myself a sparkly headband. Which I need to wear more actually. In fact, can I pop it in? Yeah, there we go. I feel like a princess. It's quite similar actually to the tiara I wore for our wedding. But no, this is just a everyday headband. And it makes me feel pretty. And then the final thing that I brought back was, I was looking everywhere, and I finally found one in the castle. The second of the castle gift shops, because there's at least two. I bought myself another project bag. They're not sold as project bags, they're just sold as Hessian, jute, whatever, shopping bags. But this is very similar to the one that I've got from the Yorkshire Wildlife Park. Same construction, roughly the same size. Nice big box bottoms, you can fit loads in. They make really good project bags for bigger projects, jumpers, baby blankets, maybe even slightly bigger than baby blankets, that kind of thing. And it looks cool. Got a picture of the castle on it. So really, really happy with that. I just need to find the right project to keep in it now. I'm starting to amass quite a collection of project bags, which is lovely. And I love having lots of pretty bags to keep my projects in. But now it's a kind of a case of, but which one do I use? But hey, that's not going to stop me. I'm a collector of pretty things. It's dangerous. One day it's going to bite me. Right. What else have I got? Yarn. I've got lots of yarn to show you. On my crafty chats, I last night showed you this first lot of yarn in more detail. I'm not going to go through it all now because there's loads. This this is the yarn for my brother's gift. I'm not going to need all of it. The reason there is so much is because there are lots of different colours that I need to make it right, to make it look how I want it to. And a lot of those colours I'm only going to need a little bit of yarn. So I won't be using all of this, but I needed to buy it. So yes, 2 big bags from Wool Warehouse of Stylecraft DK acrylic, Stylecraft Special DK, which is 100% acrylic. That's the label. I'm sure it's one you're familiar with already. many people are. And yes, a whole bunch of colours, which I'm going to wind up. It's a colour work project, as if that wasn't obvious. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to make. And then I also have some other yarn. Which is all falling on the floor. And this is, oh hang on. Okay. This is yarn for the project for Ned. Although most of it actually is excess again. This is why I have such a big stash. Yeah, so I have most of this I'm not actually going to need, but it was easier to buy a set. Anyway, I needed a brown and I couldn't find a single skein of brown chenille yarn anywhere, so I've bought a set of 4 in natural colours. This is Jubilee yarn chenille, 100 grams per cake. That's one colour. This was off Amazon, I'm afraid, because I couldn't find anything good anywhere else. There's that one. That might be a good option for what I need. Just going to chuck these on the floor so they're out of the way. And oh, that one, actually, that one's probably better. That's a nice one. It is super soft. And then there is that one as well. Is that a green? Dark green? Some of you may already know that I'm not so good with the colours anymore. So that's that. And then the other yarn I bought for him is from Flossie's Place. That's the newsletter that came with the yarn, which is a sweet little idea. That's the envelope. Oh, there's more yarn to show you as well. I've just remembered. Well, I've just spotted it. And this is Premier Pixie Dust Brights, which is another chenille one, but it's glittery, which I didn't quite realise when I bought it. I should have done from the name, but I didn't. So that, yeah, can you see the glitter in that? That's the black. Oh yeah, it's showing it quite nicely, isn't it? And then the yellow as well. Nice bright colours. Start guessing, what do you think I'm making? If you know anything about Ned and his current interests, it's probably suddenly become maybe quite obvious. If Ned does see this, I really hope he doesn't guess. Hey, he doesn't tend to watch my videos, but he does spot them when he's watching other things on YouTube. So yeah, there's a danger that he will. Right, finish this that's now gone cold and won't be very nice, and I shall show you the last bit of yarn I've got. This is a very special skein of yarn. So this is from Vicky Brown, whose yarn I love, as you will, I'm sure, already know. The reason I've got this one is because it was made for the Make 100 skeins, or not necessarily skeins, but the Make 100 Kickstarter challenge. Apparently they run every year, and I think this is the 3rd or 4th time that Vicky's participated. I think she's done it more than twice. Anyway, this is apparently skein number 30 out of 100. It is sock weight, sock yarn, 4-ply. There's 100 grams of it, which is 425 meters. And just look at the colours. There was a form to fill out. Hang on, there we go, look at that. Is it going to focus? Yes. Yeah, there was a form to fill out on the Kickstarter. It is a bit darker than in real life than it's showing. And one of the things that you could put on the form was the kind of colours that you liked. And I think I did put like purpley So, and it's so pretty. I don't know what I'm going to make with it. I might make a scarf or something for myself. It feels too pretty to be socks, don't you think? And I've got other yarn that I've got active plans to make fingerless gloves with. So this might become a scarf. But it is just so pretty. I'm really, really happy to have been able to support her. I love well, the colours she uses don't always appeal to me, but I love the yarn she makes. It's lovely. Well, dyes. She doesn't make it, she dyes it. Oh, my brain's gone haywire. But yeah, it's just beautiful. Always. And it's really lovely to work with. And yeah, just the colours on that. It is a bit deeper than it's showing up on the screen, but that's not a bad representation. It's going to be so much fun. So yes, that's just going in my stash for now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's always nice to have. And I think that's everything to actually show you. I think now we are getting close to the end. Yes, I just want to have a little chat, do a bit of chatter, tell you about my plans for the next couple of weeks. I will very briefly actually do the bit that not everybody wants to see. So if you don't want to hear about my weight and that, yeah, I shall quickly cover it now. So I'll put this as a separate little chapter. I should have said this at the beginning. I always these days put chapters in to my videos, so if there's a section you want to skip, you can easily. You can either do it on the progress bar of the video, or you can go down to the description. There's a list of the timestamps, and you should be able to just click on the section you want to go to, and it should take you there. And if not, you can see what timestamp you need to get to. So yes, separate tiny section about my weight. I'm not doing well at the moment. I weighed myself on Monday morning at some point. It might have been yesterday. I haven't weighed myself in a few weeks. I've gone completely off the rails with it all, and as a consequence of that I have gained half a stone, which is not ideal. That puts me back to heavier than I was at the start of the year. It's the heaviest I've been for a little while, actually, which is not good. The good news is that has kicked me back into gear a bit. So since then, okay, not very long, but still, I'm feeling more motivated to just be careful with what I'm eating, try and reduce the sugar intake a bit. Again, I'm not ever going to cut sugar out completely, I don't want to, but to reduce the amount I'm having, because that has got ridiculous, and to do a bit more exercise. I haven't, it might have been Sunday I weighed myself, anyway, I haven't done any like deliberate exercise. I haven't done any of my workout routines at home yet, but I did the school run on Monday and walked home from school, which is a good 30 to 40 minutes, and I've walked into town from school this morning, which is another 20 minutes or so, and then obviously walking around town as well, so that will help. I don't know, I will start doing proper workouts from home again. Not this week though. I think I'll start that afresh on Monday next week. Try and get back into a good routine of doing it first thing in the morning, either while I'm waiting for Ned to leave or just after he's gone. Waiting for him to leave, that sounded terrible. You know what I mean though. Right, that's that. Back to the rest of the chatter and goals. So, just lots of little rambly bits. Shall I do my plans first? I'll do my plans first. Most of it is the same as well, not the same, because I have cleared some of the plans out, but a quick run through of the plans that remain the same from last time are keep organising my craft room, finish my Christmas jumper, I explained why last time, finish Dottie, get those 2 blankets onto my shop, get my commission options listed, or at least a couple of them, update my website gallery, make Ned's birthday present. I think last time that was just a start, but it's a make it now because it's getting rapidly closer. Start Kelvin's birthday present, which I've got a bit more time. His birthday's at the end of May. The plan for exactly what I'm making for his birthday may have changed. I will talk more about that another time, but I do want to make a proper plan for it. Get hold of some more vendors for the market that I'm hosting in June. I've filled a good number of spaces, but there's plenty more. And add all my project notes to Ravelry. It's just something I want to do, basically. I want to get it all up on Ravelry, get myself a proper profile going on there. And then added to that list is starting the present for my brother, which I've got the yarn now, I can probably get going. I might start that later today, depending on what else I get up to. So yes, that's my plans. What else have I got coming up? Oh, it's the Indie Business Club on Monday next week. I've not been. Feels like ages since I last went. I think. Oh, the last one. It's just been a bit patchy, that's why. I think there's been a couple where she's had to postpone them because she's not been well. And last month was one of those. Now it's going to be a bit different for me specifically this week. I'm feeling very special. Because of my visual issues, I can't really use my laptop out of the house. I need very specific working conditions to be able to see what I'm doing, basically, certainly for any length of time. And the session on Monday is one, we're doing Canva templates for business, and so she said to bring your laptop, and we're actually going to make some in the session. I can't really do that, so I sent her a message about it, and she said, right, if you want to, come along anyway, just for the social side of it and to listen, which I'm hoping to do. But then she has very kindly said that she will do a private session with me here. So she's going to come here. We are aiming for Wednesday afternoon, evening, this coming week. So a week today. And yeah, she's going to take me through it, just me and her, which will be lovely. She's just a lovely lady anyway, Gemma. We get on really well. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to have to tidy up in here. And possibly the rest of the house. But yes, I need to be able to fit her in here, basically. But yes, I shall tidy up and get things organised. I'm really looking forward to it. And it is something she will normally do. It normally, she charges a very sensibly a very sensible fee, which I would not normally be able to afford. She said as a one-off she'll come and do this for me for free because I support her. I don't think I've missed one session in the last year and a bit. I couldn't go. I've been to every other one. I love going. I support her as much as I can on social media. I talk about her on here. And she says just to give a bit back, she's going to do that, and it will help her as well to understand my needs specifically, but she can then extend that to any other people she encounters or works with who have a visual impairment. So it'll give her a bit more knowledge on how to support people with those kind of needs, which is fab. Whether or not I can go on Monday is a little bit up in the air because tomorrow Kelvin is going to Portugal just for a few days. He should be back on Sunday. But obviously he's going to be shattered. He might need me to be at home on Monday, we'll see. Although he has got the day off work on Monday to recover, so hopefully it'll be alright. The reason he's going, unfortunately, is not a good one. His dad lives out in Portugal. Until very recently, his stepmom also lived out in Portugal. Unfortunately, she died just before Easter. So Kelvin and his brother are going out just to see their dad and give him a bit of support for a few days. So it's going to be a bit weird. It's a while since Kelvin's gone away. In fact, I'm not sure he has since we moved into this house, which is now over 18 months, which is mad. So it's going to be a bit odd. Ned's really going to miss him. I will also miss him, of course, but I can deal with it a bit better than Ned can. So yeah, but we'll manage, we'll get through, and it's really important that he goes. Obviously we had been wanting to get out for a family holiday for a while and haven't been able to, through one thing and another, for years now, actually. So it would be lovely to get a family holiday sorted out there, but this at the moment is just a little trip for Kelvin and his brother and his dad to spend some time together, and yeah, offer their dad a bit of support. Sorry, that took a turn downwards, didn't it? What else is going on? There's not a lot else planned. Oh, my sister Charlotte is hopefully coming to visit tomorrow with Ivy, which will be lovely. The plan is for her to come early morning, because her partner will be working in Harrogate, so we'll drive her through. So I don't know how long she's staying. It could be an all-day thing, I don't know, but that will be wonderful. I have some little presents for Ivy, of course. Nothing that I've made this time though, just things that I've seen while out and about. I was at Lindsay's on Friday last week. We had a good old chat as usual, put the world to rights, gave each other a bit of unofficial free therapy, drank a lot of gin, all that sort of thing. So that was really lovely. And have you seen, I'm gonna need to cough, hang on. Have you seen the interview that I did? I was interviewed by Roz from Raspberry Crafts. It is on her channel, it has been for a few weeks now. It came out just before we went away to Scotland. I will of course drop a link below. If I remember, I'll pop a little picture here of the thumbnail of the video. It was lovely to chat with her. We had a few technical difficulties. The internet kept dropping out. I don't know whether it was my end or hers. Neither of us is sure. But yeah, we just had a really, really lovely chat. And I don't know many people who crochet or knit, for that matter. I know a couple, but not very many. So I don't often get the chance to talk to someone obviously I'm talking to you now, but have a back and forth with someone about this world that I live in and that I'm slightly obsessed with. So yeah, it was just really, really lovely to have a proper chat with her. We talked about like how I started the crochet journey, what my favourite kind of projects are, all of that sort of thing. She's been doing a series of interviews with crafty people for a few months now, I think. She releases them every couple of weeks. So there's lots of fantastic people to discover through her channel. So yeah, go and watch it. Or at least, well, watch her generally. Her videos are lovely. She seems like a really, really wonderful person. So shout out to Roz. And thank you again. I know I've said thank you to you like a million times, but if you're watching this, Roz, thank you again. It was wonderful. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to mention, actually, just a bit off-piste. Fridays, Kelvin and Ned and I do film night. We eat tea on the sofa and watch a film. We take it in turns to choose. And a couple of weeks ago now, it was my turn. I didn't know what to watch at all, and ended up stumbling across a film that none of us had ever seen before. I think it's on Disney Plus. I think it's a Disney film, possibly Pixar, but yeah. Called Orion and the Dark. And it's just a really nice film. It's all about a young boy, I think he's supposed to be 10-ish, who is scared of everything, but especially the dark. And the beginning of it is a bit weird in some ways. I think Ned didn't really take to it to begin with, but it is child friendly, and obviously else we wouldn't have put it on. But I found it really interesting because I think it gave a really good representation of what it's like to live with anxiety, general anxiety. Yeah, just some good depictions of how Orion felt. He was scared of everything, and it kind of illustrated how quickly you can go from worrying about quite a small thing to it spiralling into some massive extreme situation that you know isn't going to happen. You know, logically it's not going to happen, but your brain goes there anyway. So that was interesting. And then yeah, he is visited by the embodiment of Dark and goes off on an adventure with Dark and Dark's friends. And yeah, it's really nice in the end. It's got a really lovely ending. I won't spoil it for you. So yeah, if you... Oh, that's my phone, sorry. Yeah, if you get the chance to watch it, do. It's a recommendation, especially if you have kids who are struggling with anxiety or are scared of the dark particularly. It would probably be really helpful. And that's it. We're done. Not too long in the end, especially once I've edited out all the coughing. So yeah, if you have made it all the way to the end, thank you very, very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed seeing what I've been working on. I now need to tidy up the mess I've created and go and get some lunch. At least clear a path to the door, because I've got things here behind me and I can't get past them. Can't move the chair. Yeah, thank you for being here. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. I know there are lots of people watching who haven't subscribed yet. It takes you seconds, it's free, and it helps me. So just putting that out there. It would be lovely if you just dropped a little thumbs up on the video so that I know you've watched it. And yeah, if you've got anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to ask me, pop it in the comments. That's it for now. I will be back in a couple of weeks' time. Alright, take care.